So kids who are bullies, are they bad kids?
I don't think all of them are. I don't think all of them are. If we look at their family system, we're going to find that what they need is more structure, what they need is more support themselves. They oftentimes become invisible, and so that's why they have to act out in their own minds at least. So by surrounding them with support, the same as you would do for any child, I think becomes even more important.
I'm here today with my friend Dr. Phong Luong. Now, maybe you've seen him before. He's on our website. He's one of our Adams Answers experts. So, Dr. Phong, you are a clinical psychologist, right?
That's correct.
And you specialize in bullying.
That's one of my areas of expertise and interest, yes.
Can both kids and adults be bullies, or is this just a kid thing?
I think it ranges the whole spectrum. Both kids and adults can be bullies. In elementary school, middle school, high school, it shows up in different ways, whether you're an emotional bully towards somebody or a physical bully, and it's the same for adults. Sometimes kids never grow out of it, and they have the same patterns of behavior as adults.
Because I feel like we all grow up knowing, like, bullies are bad, and so why would somebody choose to be a bully?
Sometimes they feel like they need to be a bully for some sense of control. And there's a lot of factors that create that sort of bullying behavior. But one of the main things we look at when we look at a family system that a child grows up in is inconsistency in some form, whether it's inconsistency in the way they were parented or inconsistency overall in their own lifestyle where there's just not a whole lot to anchor themselves to.
So now I know you do a lot of work with schools here in Southern California.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you say to kids? I mean, let's imagine that we have some people watching right now who are thinking, I think that's me. I think I'm being bullied.
Yeah.
What are some things that that person can do?
Well, one of the main things I tell kids who feel like they're experiencing that bullying is 3 rules of thumb. Stop, talk, and tell. Stop meaning if you're experiencing that bullying, you have to tell your bully. You have to set your boundary by saying, stop, that's not cool behavior. If that bully is willing to listen, then you can have a conversation about how that is impacting or influencing your own feelings and your own thoughts and your own behavior and how that hurts and it's not cool. If the bullying doesn't stop, then you have to tell. That's definitely when you have to go speak to an adult, whether it's your parents, a school administrator, your teacher, or your principal.
Okay. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I have a little bit of a prejudice in that I feel like instructing a kid who feels very powerless to tell to a bully who I perceive as being a very cool kid doesn't necessarily make that bully want to listen. I imagine like a small nerdy child saying, stop bullying me, and the bully being like, no. I mean, do you find that this works? I really hope it does.
It does sometimes, but you're right. There are many situations where it might not work, where there's such a power difference or a size difference or a grade difference that even if my child says to an older student, stop, that student might not stop. If we can stay involved in our children's education by showing up on campus and being visible as parents, encouraging our children to surround themselves with good friends. What you need is that social support in school and also that support from your parents and the community around you.
Even just saying stop might be less about the bully, but more about each of us as individuals acknowledging that we have boundaries.
Yes.
And that almost we for ourselves need to understand that, hey, this is not okay for me.
Yes, that boundary setting is so important for self-identity, for self-development, for the child who is being bullied. If you don't speak up for yourself, guys and girls, you're gonna be so isolated sometimes that so many things can come up. Loneliness, sadness. So it's kind of counterintuitive for many, especially when we're young and trying to develop our understanding of who we are. But that's when, again, it becomes so important to surround ourselves with good friends and good family and good support.
Dr. Phong, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me.